Alright guys, so welcome back to another video on the channel. In today's episode, we have a pretty strange one for you. I usually don't do many videos about what I use as my setup and all that. I've literally never done a video on my setup. But today's video I'm going to explain why I bought a Macintosh Mini, or a Mac Mini, over a MacBook Pro, iMac and a Windows PC. So yeah guys, stay on the edge of your seats. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and without further ado, let's get right to the video. By the way guys, this will be in like a kind of review kind of format, so you will get the design, the performance and all that kind of stuff in this like comparison kind of thing. So yeah, without further ado, let's get right to the video. Alright guys, so starting off with design, the Mac Mini probably actually doesn't win this category. I'd probably say, you know, if you want more if you guys want more customization and all that kind of stuff, you know, obviously go for Windows because you can customize the case, you can customize the RGB, like the RAM, you have RGB in the motherboard as well. But yeah, I'm not like, I like RGB, but I'm kind of looking for that sleeker look like a Mac. So I went with the Mac Mini. It does use recycled aluminium, like on the MacBook Pros and also on the iMacs, but I didn't want the chunky bezels of the iMac. Sure, it looks pretty nice, I do have to say, but you know, I wanted something small, discreet, and then I could hook it up to any monitor I wanted, because I kind of find the iMac's display pretty limited in my personal use, because I would have went with the 21.5 inch model, which is really small for a monitor, just saying. So yeah, obviously the MacBook Pros would have been nice to get as well, but obviously, you know, they've had keyboard problems, the 2017, 2016, 2018 and 2019 ones, so yeah, obviously I didn't want to go through all the trouble of like getting a messed up keyboard or anything like that. So, you know what, the safest bet, it looks sleek, it really does look nice. You know, if you rock up with a Mac Mini, you know, you mean business. And yeah, I'm just really loving the look of the Mac Mini, although it does get quite a lot of dust in it, quite significantly a lot of time. I think because it's recycled, it has some sort of static energy. It doesn't really bother me too much. It's just, you know, I went for the Mac Mini because it's got that discreet, that really nice design still, but you know, it's small enough that you can actually take it to places. Say if I was staying over at a friend's and wanted to edit video, I could easily do that because it's a pretty compact machine, not much bigger than an iPad. I can show you against my iPad Pro 2017, and honestly, it's not much bigger, and you get in so much power, which I will go over in the performance section, which is coming up right now. Alright guys, so obviously you guys are gonna absolutely spank me in the comment section. Don't do that because it probably hurt. But yeah, you guys are probably gonna hate me after this, but I went for the Mac Mini because of its performance. I know all you Windows fans are going into the comment section saying, oh, but the Windows laptops and machines have better price to performance ratio. And to that I say, yes, they very much do. You could easily get, I don't know, like a £200 machine that has better specs than the Mac Mini. But for a Mac, it's got some pretty decent specs. The MacBook Pro's performance is less value for money, obviously using a lower wattage chip in a laptop, and also just because the one that I would have to have went for would have been the 2017 model because it's the cheapest, and it's a 13-inch, so you don't get the quad-core, whereas with the Mac Mini, you get the quad-core i3, and you can also set that up to a 6-core i5, which is actually a pretty beefy chip. And obviously in the 2017 ones, you would have got an earlier generation of processors compared to the Mac Mini now, using the 8th generation Kaby Lake processors compared to the 7th generations. I can't remember what they called them, sorry Intel fans, but compared to the 7th generation Intel Core i5s and but yeah, compared to the 7th generation Intel Core i5s and all that, and being laptop chips, I would not have went for a MacBook Pro, and especially because they're dual core, so that kind of eliminated the MacBook Pro for me, because yeah, you get the portability and all that, but for a video editor like myself, who makes videos, tries to make them twice a week, you know, I think it would have been a bit too slow for my personal usage, and the Mac Mini can handle everything really good. I would actually suggest, guys, if you're looking for a Mac, get the Mac Mini. It's really good for video editing. You can apply loads of effects. I know you're probably going to want an external GPU eventually, but you know, 600 quid or 600 US dollars for a Mac that can edit a 4K video on Final Cut is pretty damn impressive. So obviously I went with the Mac Mini, as you can see by the title of the video. But yeah, so moving on from that, we get the iMac. So yes, I could have went for an iMac. Obviously, you know, you get in a beefier GPU than in the Mac Mini. You can get better processors as well with like 6-core, but I'm on a budget, and I imagine a lot of you guys are too, because I know you guys watch my content. I do a lot of budget phone reviews, so I know a lot of you guys probably are on a budget. So you want something like a bit of on the affordable side. So obviously with an iMac, you have to kind of step it up to the next price to get like some actually pretty decent performance. So I could have went with the 2017 iMac from 2017, and the problem with that is it's got a 21.5 inch display at 1080p, because I could have went for the 4K model to get the quad core, but those are around 150 UK pounds more expensive than the Mac Mini, so that's something that I couldn't afford to do. And you get dual core chips in the 1920 by 1080 resolution iMac for the 21.5 inch from 2017, and the dual cores just weren't enough for me. I know you get beefier GPUs because the Mac Mini is using integrated graphics, which is really bad. I ran a couple tests on Unity Heaven and also Geekbench 5, and yeah, let's say it got around 2 to 7 frames per second in Unity Heaven's test benchmark. So listen guys, I know you probably dumb if you do this, like, I'm sorry, but it's not a good move. Just don't buy a Mac to game on, because unless you've got like an iMac Pro, you're not going to be gaming on it. The integrated graphics in the Mac Mini are pretty horrific, so you can always get an eGPU, but obviously the game selection is better on a Windows machine. But I am not a gamer. I am, but I've got a console for that, and I just really didn't need the gaming performance, so I went with the Mac Mini for the sheer video editing and other stuff like that. So yeah, so the iMac I could have got, but it would have been underpowered and it would have been pretty pricey. So yeah, I moved on, and although they did have better GPUs, you know, I'm not really looking for that much of a better GPU. I'm more focusing on CPU for video editing, like the more cores for exporting and stuff like that. Alright guys, so with the final category we get software. And obviously this is exactly equivalent to all the other Macs. Obviously I could have went with the MacBook Pro and iMac, but with the MacBook Pro I wouldn't have had enough performance to do the tasks. And you know, I just thought that the Mac Mini, you get all the Mac exclusive software, like say if you wanted Logic Pro, if you wanted to do music design or something like that. Is music design a word? I don't know. Well. But yeah, so I went with a Mac over a Windows machine because of one app and one app only. You guys probably already know what it is, because I was talking to more people. Well, I was talking to a lot of people about why I wanted to switch to a Mac, and that is for one app, and that would be Final Cut Pro. Obviously, there's good video editors on Windows, just not as good as Final Cut. You guys are going to roast me in the comments, but I know Adobe Premiere, it's really expensive. I can't really afford to be going for a £50 per month subscription, although I probably could have got a student discount over, like, say if I was using Premiere for like 2 years, then I would have already been able to buy Final Cut. So I probably would have kept my membership for like an extra 7 years or something, my Adobe membership, if I would have got Adobe, and that would have cost me an absolute bucket load of cash, and that's something I can't be affording to spend stuff on. So yeah, I went with Final Cut Pro. I'm in the trial right now, but I will probably be purchasing it after on my birthday or something like that. But yeah, there's also DaVinci Resolve, which I know you can get for free, but I personally wanted the speed of Final Cut, because you can it's just speedy. You have background rendering turned on, your exports go whew, and yeah, it's just surpassing every video editor in the speed regard. And also you get the extra plugins, which is basically the main reason I chose a Mac. So I could go Final Cut, and then I could get some more plugins on top to make my videos look even cooler. And I'll be hoping to get some plugins later on this year, hopefully for my birthday. But yes, so I wanted plugins so you could easily drag and drop like call-outs, which are like these cool animation things, and other stuff like that, and lower thirds. Yes, so I obviously wanted some of that stuff because it really does improve the video quality and the production quality of my videos, so that's why I went with Final Cut. And yeah, so that explains why I bought a Mac Mini over a MacBook Pro and iMacs. If you guys like this video, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Stay safe, stay healthy, and stay techy, and I'll see you next one. Bye-bye.